How's it going, everybody? This is Jason back for some more Chair League action. Kind of going on the fly here. Had a last-minute adjustment to make here, so let me go ahead and get the right stuff up for you guys. Actually, going to be a Division 1 match here between these two teams. I have to put up some names for you guys because this doesn't do this correct. Oh no, the CLR browser will work. There we go. Balloon Grant us Strength versus TireFirePyre. Also got this going over on Alarin's channel. So we've got this one well casted all over the place. And, we're not going to be short on casters for this one, but man, these names just don't want to adjust. I see right away the band's coming out here already.
Balloon, my time has come. And then I played one since.
There we go. How's it? All right, I think we're all good. I think we got everything in line and figured out what we're doing here. Let's take a look at these matchups here. We got Sylvanas already being picked up here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is super strong. Exactly what you're looking for. The Gazebo ban coming out from the side of Balloon Grant us Strength. That's very interesting. I didn't see that one coming. But it's going to open up Sylvanas, and it is going to allow them to get Artanis, which I think is a really big pickup here for the side of Balloon Grant us Strength. Great name, by the way. Love it. TireFirePyre, however, has picked up Leoric, Ariel, and Sylvanas so far. So healers are done. I feel like both teams have really gotten their supports early. Going to be probably looking for a Vala or a Gul'dan later on here for the side of TireFirePyre. So we'll have to figure out who Balloon Grant us Strength wants to try to actually ban here. Could easily go with either of those. Maybe try and get one, pick one up, and then ban to deny the other, so that Ariel doesn't have any of the best feeders. But they are going to go ahead and go with the Varian ban. Varian, one of the stronger tanks in the game right now. A lot of people going with that shield talent for the extra stun ability from that taunt. Really able to do a nice job of shutting down Artanis. It does still help him feed into his shield regeneration, but once Artanis has been taunted and stunned from that charge, he really has a hard time keeping himself alive otherwise. So we'll have to see here what the ban's going to come out from the side of TireFirePyre. They've got a few options. Could try to put on a little bit of a specialist chokehold. They are going to elect to ban out the Tychus. Probably a little foreshadowing into them wanting another tank, which makes sense. Leoric, not usually seen as the solo tank. He's usually more of a dual tank bruiser. So we'll have to see what they're going to go with here. Again, several different options on the table at this point. They haven't really shown a whole lot. Haven't really done too much in the way of giving away what they want to do here. Artanis and Malfurion, two of the most picked heroes and two of the most versatile in terms of building your comp. You can do pretty much anything with them. Probably want to prioritize a backline mage if they're going to get one here. Steal it away, their mage of choice, before the side of TireFirePyre has the ability to get it on the other side. So I have to see what they want to go with. Could also get their other frontline tank, and that is what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and get Gul'dan. Probably one of the strongest feeders for Ariel. Kind of forces them into a Vala pick here. They're also going to pick up ETC as their frontline tank. They figure, they can go with these big health pools. No big deal with Tychus off the board. However, it does feed a little bit into Leoric and that Drain Soul. Drain life, drain hope, drain. He's draining something from these big tanks and getting a lot of health back for it. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but and Cho'Gall coming out. Boy, did I forget one certain feeder for Ariel in that energy department. That is quite a pick coming out from TireFirePyre. I didn't see that one coming. I'm going to be honest to you. You know, I probably should have. They deny the Tychus, they pick up the Leoric, and they get the Ariel. Those are pretty much the only three things you need. And even Brightwing not on the other side. Could be an Anubarak pick up here, but that would make them a little bit melee heavy, a little bit tank heavy. Ideally, you want a backline auto attack damage dealer or a good siege specialist. But really, all the good ones are kind of off the board at this point. Nazebo's gone. Sylvanas has already been picked up. Ragnaros is out of here. Kind of left with Zagara and Zol as your main specialists in the game right now, and they're really not meta. They're not great in this comp. So they are going to choose to go with the Vala to at least have another giant killer on the team. Yeah, that's an interesting draft. I really like the Cho'Gall pickup here from TireFirePyre. I feel like they did it just right. They had the right positioning where it wouldn't be too easily countered from the side of Balloon Grant Us Strength. So, I mean, if anything, if you're ever going to pick it, here's the time. So, should be interesting to see. If I had to give an edge in this one, it's not that I'm not a Cho'Gall fan, I'll tell you, because I really love seeing people, you know, break out the Cho'Galls and do their thing, but I don't know, you know, I think that Artanis and ETC are going to have a decent time taking care of it. I think Malfurion is pretty good for the sustained damage that Gall puts out. Gall puts out a ton of damage, which is really, really good for feeding Ariel. But it is not burst damage, ladies and gentlemen. It is sustained damage. It's just constant because Gall doesn't have a resource that he's got to pull from, like you know, like with Samuru and Illidan. They don't have a resource pool. So as soon as those abilities are on cooldown, Gall can just throw them out at will, and that makes him very, very good for sustained damage dealing. But he just isn't able to burst anybody down. So Malfurion has a decent chance of being able to keep up with those heals. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But I'm going to give the slide edge to Balloon Grant Us Strength. Not knowing really either of these teams too well, though. We'll have to see if either one of them get an advantage here in the early game. Meanwhile, on the left, we do have the blue team. Be the At is going to be playing Vala. Treeform is going to be playing ETC. Dibby Grooster is going to be playing Gul'dan. Voracity is going to be playing Artanis. And Chocobo HNC is going to be playing Malfurion. This is Balloon Grant Us Strength. On the right, we have Mr. Agriato is going to be playing Ariel. Bert Macklin on Gall with Gix on Cho. Junico is going to be playing Sylvanas. And Scruffy Texton Scruffy Texan is going to be playing Leoric. This is TireFirePyre. Alright. So these two teams just kind of rotating around, seeing if they can find anybody out. It is going to be Sylvanas in the bottom lane as their solo laner going up against Gul'dan. So that should be an interesting matchup we don't get to see too often. But I suppose that is probably the best solo laner for the side of Balloon Grant Us Strength. Kind of hard to tell which one would be way better here. There we go. So we do see the 4-man rotation, I guess sort of. As is a 3-body rotation, but 4-player rotation from TireFirePyre as they go back and forth. Both teams actually kind of adopting that philosophy. Oh, the whip just barely missing Artanis there as he's going to end up getting out of that situation. The swap just barely missing there on Leoric. The slide still through on him as he is the focus target there. But that Drain Life is going to come out and hit Treeform. Going to keep him nice and topped up here. Meanwhile, a lot of hope being fed to Ariel. Ariel's still sitting there with full hope in that hope pool, ready to give out a heal if they ever take any damage. The swap comes down onto Cho'Gall, but he's going to be able to just get those fast feet moving to get on out of that situation and not taking a whole lot of damage. So we do see, yet again, this rotation going. Nobody getting too caught out. Both teams being fairly careful. The Wraith Walk to get Scruffy Texton out of that situation. I keep wanting to say Scruffy Texton, like, you know, somebody with a really rough beard is on their phone just punching away at the numbers, but it's definitely just a scruffy guy from the great state of Texas is what I really got to be thinking of. Interesting there. Chocobo had the opportunity to try and throw a Moonfire down onto Cho'Gall to try and interrupt that, but he's just going to let him go ahead and turn those in. He's like, ah, you know what? Go ahead. Yeah, just do your thing. Why not? A little bit of a rotation down to this bottom lane. Gonna give a little harassment down to Gul'dan. Clearly, the gentleman's agreement to leave that poor bottom lane alone is over here for the side of TireFirePyre. They go ahead and rotate down to harass him a bit. We do see a bit of an engagement here in the mid lane, so yet again, they're gonna try and go in and get that harassment out. Nice thing about Ariel here, never going to run out of mana. There's always going to be that hope pool available. Not great burst healing, but and a lot of times we do see the Ariels defeating the Malfurion players in terms of supportability when they have a good hope feeder. And Cho'Gall is really the ideal one. If you can pull off a comp against an opposing comp that works with it, it really is ideal. The whip coming out to be able to save Ariel from some certain grief there. Nice whip out on Artanis to at least give them an avenue for that. Gonna rotate down and give Juniko a little bit of heals, but Juniko's main problem here is mana at this point. At some point, it's gonna have to go back in that matchup and at least try and get a little bit of mana back. Great wave clear on Sylvanas, but she is a very mana-hungry hero in general. Both teams right now just continuing the rotation, picking up their gems, and another huge rotation to the bottom. Gul'dan is going to get completely caught out here on that rotation, and all 5 members down here are going to go ahead and push this. Treeform going in deep there is actually going to be able to face melt to get himself out of trouble here, but looks like at this point TireFirePyre has gotten what they came for, which was the front wall and Gul'dan's gems hitting the floor, and they will go ahead and secure the first turn into the game. Webweaver's going over to TireFirePyre, and they're going to be focusing, looks like, most of their energy towards this bottom lane as they start to push it out. They're going to go ahead and clean up this wave, and this Webweaver is going to be coming right in towards this bottom fort. They're even going to go ahead and clear it out, all of these minions, as the Webweaver goes ahead and comes in to spawn, and it's going to come right down on the outskirts of this fort. Artanis is actually going up to that top lane to get started on that one, so the 4-man response. It is a 4v5 here, though, with Sylvanas being able to shut down these towers, so it's a lot of pressure coming up here onto Balloon Grant us Strength. They go ahead and push in through this bottom Webweaver, and Vala is going to get caught from that Webweaver's wave, and that's going to be a big kill, as they are going to go ahead and rotate to this mid lane where the Webweaver's already gotten the front wall down. We've got a ton of minions also in on this, and this mid fort is completely melting. No hope of being able to keep this thing alive as it goes down in a big way. And now the rotation to the top to go ahead and clear that out, and all of a sudden they're on the march for 10 already. A full level lead at this point, mostly in structure damage. So it's not to say that the Balloon Grant us Strength doesn't have the opportunity to catch up. They certainly do. Structure XP is still definitely available. They've only got half of one of these walls down, so they have a lot of stored XP available to them, but they just need to find a way to get around to it. Webweaver is not a bad way to do it, but they really need level 10 before they're going to be able to do a whole lot of anything. If I'm them, I'm doing my best to hold on to my gems at this point. Try not to get caught out with these level 10s already here. Try to safe soak, get yourself to 10, try to secure a turn in, and try and turn this game around, because it's starting to slowly snowball out, and this is where a lot of teams go ahead and pitch it. They pitch it out the window for good, because there's no way that there's really no way TireFirePyre can get too much more pressure, other than maybe taking Sylvanas and their whole team to this top lane. That was maybe the one way that they could really put on the extra pressure before 10, but still, you know, side of Balloon Grant Strength, not really sweating it too much. They realize that they are going to go ahead and give up this fort, but they are going to get the blue web weavers spawning for them right around the time they pick up this level 10. So, you know, I respect that. I respect that play coming out from them, being willing to give it up, because a lot of teams would look at that situation and freak out, because that's their last fort, that's their final line of defense. But really, they needed level 10 before they tried to spawn these web weavers, because that was the only way they were really going to be able to get any momentum rolling in this game. We do see 5 members are going to start to wander in towards this mid lane, but already half down is this web weaver. The charge out of that swap for Cho'Gall is going to get him out of that situation. The upheaval is going to bring in 2 members as they attempt to wall them off, but right now it's just Artanis who will swap out of much of that damage from Gall's ultimate, as they are actually going to be able to get Leoric in the exchange there. So that's going to be a nice kill, first kill of the game for them. Meanwhile, the web weavers in the top and bottom lane have started to get work done, and the swap out yet again on Gall as he uses those fast feet to try and get out, but he is going to be mosh pitted here. The slide in and mosh pit from Treeform. Nice job of being able to get into Cho'Gall and take him out here. It is going to grant them the bottom fort and a complete catch-up of the XP. You know, you see at this point, they are actually technically ahead in terms of the potential XP. They still have the end of this front wall and 2 forts that they can take down here for the side of Balloon Grant Strength. So if they can continue to really catch up in this, you know, in this structure game, they're going to end up being ahead in the XP game. It's going to be a really big deal. The upheaval coming in here will hit the front line for the side of Balloon Grant Strength, and they are going to get Artanis down. They're trying to get out of this situation without Artanis, which definitely a smart move for the side of Balloon Grant Strength with 13 right around the corner. They just barely missed getting that mid fort down, but a little overly aggressive with Cho'Gall going back. They stayed just a little bit too long in on that mid fort, and TireFirePyre doing a nice job of making them pay. And, oh, the wall coming in on Treeform. He is going to be blown up here. Oh, yeah, well, okay. Maybe not blown up, but he did get hit to extremely low health there. Nice job of at least trying to keep him alive for a few more seconds, but that is going to be a free boss play here. They are going to go ahead and get the boss, and they're going to time the web weavers perfectly with that. Very nice play coming out from TireFirePyre. As soon as they saw that they had Artanis down, they kept the pressure up. They were able to get a very nice entomb out. But this is not going to go uncontested. It looks like they're going to look to at least try to contest this. They're going to swap Cho'Gall out. Not quite getting him out over the wall. The pull back is going to pull him back off of the point there. Very nice play from... you have to see the full name here to give him full credit for that. By Gix on show, being able to upheaval Artanis right back out of that situation so that he couldn't contest the boss. And now, perfectly timed, boss and web weaver in the top lane. TireFirePyre is really lighting it up right now in this top lane, doing everything they can to try and pressure. The other 2 lanes pushed out pretty far, but that's okay. They're looking for this top keep. They're trying to pressure it. They're giving a lot of energy back to Ariel, but they're being pretty passive here. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to push this too hard. And with all 5 members defending here, they're going to go ahead and back out and play it safe for now. Be happy with getting the front wall of that keep, getting a little bit of damage out onto it, and they're going to go ahead and try and get a little bit more soak, pick up a few more gems, maybe try and pressure somewhere else, try to catch somebody else out. Yeah, aggressive rotation there by Scruffy Texan. They're looking for it. We'll see if they can't get something done. But the Web Weaver in the bottom still just has a sliver of life left. And they are going to go ahead and rotate here. Is the side of Balloon grant us strength to be able to push this back. They do have their 14s. It's still pretty even in terms of the level. A little bit of a structure advantage at this point for TireFirePyre. We do see ultimates have been picked up. Purifier Beam. A little bit of a surprise here for Artanis. Maybe trying to aim a little bit towards that Cho'Gall. Tranquility coming out here for Malfurion. So not necessarily your conventional heroics. I do really like the stage dive. Other than the aerial, well, okay, they've got the aerial whip as well as the wailing arrow over on the side of TireFirePyre for Mosh Interrupts. Of course, we've seen multiple times. We've got Shadow Bolt Volley with Upheaval, very common heroics for Cho'Gall. When all those times that Cho'Gall is picked, it's usually those heroics. Crystal Aegis, of course, to be able to save their beloved leader Cho'Gall. Entomb to be able to trap somebody into that Shadow Bolt Volley. Artanis going for the swap, but very safe play here from TireFirePyre to be able to back out of that situation. We do see them putting a little bit of pressure here on this mid-keep front wall, trying to utilize that. Well, and another swap, almost hitting Cho'Gall there. Very, very close here, but not quite able to reach him. Even so, they've been very prepared and very coordinated. In sync is Gix and Burt Macklin. Good old Gicklin. Or Jeeklin? Yet again, those swaps are just coming right up to, like, hitting the Golden Rooster tails, but not quite close enough to actually get those swaps out here. Trying to isolate somebody, but they're trying to pick up 16 right now. Are the side of Balloon Grant of Strength. Actually, I take it back. They're trying to get a turn in, but without those 16 talent here, really shouldn't be trying to get in too big a team fight here. Treeform maybe looking to try and catch him out a little bit, but they realize they got a lot of gems. They don't have the 16 talent here. Time to back up, get a little bit of XP, trying to even this thing out. And there it is, level 16 picked up for Balloon Grant of Strength. And now they might be a little bit more well-equipped to go toe-to-toe with this Cho'Gall comp. TireFirePyre have chosen to break out here. Front wall nearly completely gone in that top lane. And look at this rotation. Full in with the Sylvanas in the top lane. They are going to be forfeiting this keep in exchange for the turn-in. Heads-up play there from the side of TireFirePyre, as they are going to go ahead and hit the B buttons and get themselves the heck out of here. They assume the rotation's coming to that top lane, but I don't think they saw the Bs. And they are going to go ahead and pick up that mid fort. Nice heads-up play by Be That. A little bit of a premature ult there from Vala, however. The Upheaval is going to pick up a couple. Ton of damage coming out from that Shadow Bolt volley before the Mosh Pit comes out, which is then interrupted. The Horrify coming out as well. Scruffy Texan doing everything he can to try and keep himself alive here. Ultimately, they are going to be on the back foot. Malfurion's dead. However, they are going to lose Leoric in response. So a 1-for-1 trade. And Voracidi not quite close enough to be able to get a whole lot done there. They're going to go ahead and rotate to the top lane, though. They don't have Malfurion at this point. They are rotating to the top to at least try and get some pressure in on this this top fort, trying to focus that as the lane. That's the lane of choice. Leoric dead, and Sylvanas taking care of that bottom lane. That is going to give them the opportunity to at least try to take down this top fort, but ultimately not quite enough. They are going to have to back out here. Remembering they don't have a healer while Ariel can just sustain them 4 days. Leoric is also back. So they almost get the top fort down. They do open it up a little bit, but we're going to see the good old gem dump here for the side of TireFirePyre. They've been doing a nice job of keeping those gems turned in and not risking too much. However, Balloon Grant of Strength has been hoarding them almost religiously here. Just one more gem in the pool, and they will be ready to go for the side of TireFirePyre, trying to turn these things in. Meanwhile, at least Gul'dan's going to get his gems in at this point. Rotation back to the bruisers for both teams. They're going to go ahead and pick those up. Nice job of TireFirePyre by cleaning those out a little bit early, though. They continue to try and scrape together the gems needed. Just 3 away, and Ariel is going to have, at long last, the gems that are needed. Both teams just kind of rolling around, trying to get XP, getting closer to those level 20s all the time. TireFirePyre definitely winning that race, though, to level 20. A full level lead at this point. With the Web Weavers descending here, they're going to come out to pretty much the mid, on average here at least. Little bit short in the bottom lane, but actually this is a nice job of cleaning these out. Are they going to be able to kill them in time? No, very close. But the Web Weaver will be spawning pretty far in the top lane. He's going to be going right towards this mid keep. If they're able to get this mid keep down, that's going to be level 20, and that could be a little bit ugly for the side of Balloon Grant of Strength. Right away, they're going to go in with Sylvanas. They're going to get a ton of pressure. Not enough of a response here from Balloon Grant of Strength. And I do see the swap coming in. Is going to miss. So they are actually going to back out. The Purifier Beam actually coming out here onto Cho'Gall. He's going to have to back out. But they get the mid keep. They pick up their level 20s. And they're just going to take a quick breather. Let that Purifier Beam expire. And they're going to re-rotate in. Here it comes. They're coming in hard after this. They have the Artanis kind of mapped out here. The Upheaval is going to cancel out the swap, and both he and Vala get completely blown up. That is going to be a free keep in bottom. The final keep that Balloon Grant of Strength have to their name, and they are going to be looking for the whole enchilada right here, it looks like. They do have 2 members down. Scruffy Texan already in to get that Entomb off, to scare them back. Treeform very low, has to slide back into the Hall of Storms to get himself healed up for the moment. They are going to try and mount a defense with just 3 here, but this is going to be one rough defense. The Horrify comes out, but is only really going to scare Ariel away for a second. Nothing doing there. The damage coming out onto Ariel, but has that full hope pool to be able to bring him up. And again, the stall tactics here from Treeform, but it's not going to be enough. And TireFirePyre is going to take them out in short order here. Actually, well, I guess that's not really true. Very long game. Very nice job by Balloon Grant of Strength trying to stay into this one. But I just felt like they were a couple steps behind throughout the whole match. There was not quite anything they could do to try and catch themselves up. Once they really got down early in that game, they had a couple of moments where it could have been possible. But just smart plays coming out from TireFirePyre. They just were able to maneuver around and play the PvE match, play the map, and they did a great job of being able to pull out this win. You know, and it says right, you know, I mean, you can see it right in the kill count, 4-7. There wasn't a whole lot of PvP brawling. There wasn't a whole lot of kill potential from either team. Both teams just kind of stayed out of each other's way for most of the match, and at some point, Balloon Grant of Strength, I think, really needed to try and get in there, get some kills, and take some risks. You saw it early with that boss play, where they didn't quite rotate early enough to really be able to contest it. Artanis did try and swap in there and get a little bit done, but he alone was not going to be enough to take that away. And then just in general being a little bit too passive. When they were on even talent tiers. You know, I can understand not wanting to attack when they're down that 20 talent tier, you know, not wanting to overextend and get caught out. But you know, at some point you just got to turn and fight them and try and stop them. They did on that bottom keep. Did at least try and push them back off of the keep. But then, you know, that's 2 members being caught out there with Artanis and Vala down. That kind of spelled the end of the game. But that's going to spell the end of our night here for Chair League. That's going to be the last one of the night. Thank you very, very much, guys, for joining us. Got another match coming up here in just a little bit tomorrow night, I should say. 2 matches coming up. First, we got at 7:40, we got Graveyard Shift versus Mortal Esports. And then an hour later, starting at 8:40, we have Salty Cat versus BJ and Co. So should be a good couple of matches here in Chair League tomorrow night. And then, of course, we've actually got our match for Divine 9 coming up on Friday night, along with our team practices. And we're going to have a new thing going, a little bit of a revival from a couple seasons ago in the playoffs, the Chair League highlight reel. So all week I'm going to be collecting some of the top plays from Chair League and compiling them all into one YouTube video, which I'll post up for you guys in the forums. If you guys check that out over the weekend, you guys will be able to scout that out. Or you can always just go to the YouTube page that you see right in the link below and subscribe, and you guys will get a little alert as soon as that video goes up, along with all the Chair League matches that I cast and much of the content that I do here on Twitch. And yeah, if you guys like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that follow button as well. Always broadcasting a lot of the stuff here on Twitch for Chair League, as well as my own personal streaming. And I'll hope to see you guys tomorrow night for more Chair League action and a little bit more. Probably going to go into a little bit of Hero League here in just a little while. Going to take a little bit of a break, but then after that,